Hi everyone, it's me Martin and welcome to Autodesk PowerMill. So we have started the module number 5 and we have covered the understanding 5-axis movement and bliss carriers, blade finishing and hub finishing. So we have the last topic in the module number 5, which is all about the Swarf cutting operation. So actually it's all about the multi-axis, but we are going to perform this a simple example related to the Swarf operation. Actually it will be preferably to perform on 3 axes as well, but I have categorized this operation in the 5 axis. So let's go and study about this Swarf milling operation. So I have opened the Autodesk PowerMill Ultimate 2024 version. So let's go and import a file. So I have created a file on the SolidWorks, and this is the file which is called the Swarf milling. I just created this file in the other software. Just go and import this file in the PowerMill. So it's going to convert it first because this file is a X3 or primary version, and after loading this file in the software, you see that the XYZ direction is going to be changed because this file has been created in other software with a different plane. So what we have to do is we have to arrange this file according to the axis version in the PowerMill. You see that on the corner, lower left corner, you see that the Z-axis is in a different direction. So if I go and rotate this option over here, then it would be like the Z-axis on this face, which is being selected and highlighted. What I have to do is I have to change the direction of that thing. So what we can do is just go and click on the models, right click over here, click on the edit option and use the transform option. So here you will find out the rotate option, and what you have to do is you have to rotate the model about a 90 degree with an axis of x-axis. So we are going to move around x-axis and it will make, and that face going to be this face, which is I'm going to highlight it, is going to be Z normal. So let's go and rotate about 90 degree with around x-axis. So if I go and click one side, actually the face which I have selected is going to be moved. So if I go and cancel it, Control Z, or you can make your model re-import again. So if I go and re-import model and what it, go and delete this previous model and right click again and click on the edit, use the transform, make the rotation about x-axis, and you see that it just move about x-axis and this face is now about Z normal. So click OK and accept it. So now it's time to apply the setups for the block. So we have to set the block over here. And by default, it's a box, click calculate. So you will be like to see the block like that. Click accept and it's done. Go to the create a work plane. So right click, create work plane according to the position of the block. Click on this point because it makes it at the center. Make the work plane active. And now go to toolpaths and use the finishing operation. In the finishing operation, actually you will find out the Swarf operation at the end, the third from the last. And in the Swarf operation, you'll see that we have an uneven surface on the sides. It's a tapered surface. And in the Swarf operation, which will look like the tool is along cutting the surface and it's touching down the peripheral of that surface. So that's why we use this Swarf operation. This operation, the cutting tool cuts down the material along the surface, creating an angle of that. So let's go and click on this Swarf milling operation. Set the settings, make the name first of all of the operation, Swarf finish. So as usual, it's a finishing operation, so we don't need to set up for the other tools like the end mill or other So click on the tools, use the bar nose operation for that thing. Make the bar nose at 10 millimeter BN. So BN stands for bar nose. Make the tool diameter 10 mm. Make the length 100. You can set up the tool geometry and all these things like the tool holder and all these things. Because it depends upon your profile and machining and all this stuff. So let's go ahead and click on this Swarf, which is the main setup things for the operation. Make all these things because we are going to apply on the outside. So we have set it outside along the Z-axis. And if you want to set up the radial offset, you can set it radial. But by default, we have set it along the Swarf operation, make it the cutting direction climb or any. You can set it. And set the tolerance value 0.01 millimeters. And click on the next operation, we have the positioning system. So as usual, it's going to follow the bottom face. So if I talk about the bottom, so the bottom profile and the upper profile is a different profile. So it's going to follow the lower limit according to the base position, which is the bottom one. And let's go and click on the gauge avoidance, make them top. So upper limit is going to be top one. Strategy will be tracing, that the multiple cuts. So if you go and click on the calculate option, it will calculate and you see that it only cuts down from the bottom face because the bottom face is being selected. So if you go and select the faces, for example, if I go and select this face, this face, this face, and this face, that face, so it's going to cut down that faces. So if I go and click apply and calculate it, and you see that it cuts down the outside of that. So this is how the Swarf milling operation is done. But actually the thing is that we have to set up the multiple cuts. If you set it as off, the mode is off, it will cut down only the bottom side and follow the bottom profile. But if you want to perform the cutting operation from top to bottom, you have to set the mode as offset up, make the level set, make the top as upper limit, and set the maximum step down at 1.0. This means that it's going to dig down 1 millimeter, and this job has a height of 60 millimeters. So therefore, it's set up as a 1 millimeter step down to cut down the material. The next thing is that we have to set up the feeds and speeds. So we have set up to 25,000 RPM, and make it to let's make it 15,000 RPM, cutting feed rate of 2,000, and all these standard, and make the finishing as standard pull and operating. Click on the calculate, and it's going to calculate all these things over one. So let's go and simulate this operation, and you will find out that the cutting tool, its preferred surface is going to be preferred to the object. So let's go and show you how it actually looks like. So if I go and make the speed normal and slow, you see that the cutting tool axis is going to be changed, and it's cutting down. And you see that the surface is a preferred surface, and you see that it's cutting down according to surface. So the angle, you see that the angle of that thing is according to the surface. So it's preferring cutting down the material at certain angle. That's why we have to use certain type of machining operation. So rather than using this Z-optimized operation, that's totally different. In the Z-type operation, the cutting tool is normal at Z-axis, or it's follows Z. But here it just follows the surface and cut down the material. So we have to use the multi-axis operation on that thing. So there's a totally different operation. So this is how the Autodesk PowerMill, and we have been using the operation is called the Swarf milling operation. You can apply this operation on the inside and outside as well. So it's cutting down the material peripherally from the surface. So that's it for the swap milling operation. Hope you like the operation and there is no such difficulty present inside. That's it. Thank you very much.